Okay, so good morning. Good morning, everyone. Is my voice audible to everyone? Okay, and can you see the video also? All right, so I hope the video is also visible and you can hear my voice also. All right, so very good. So, good morning and welcome to this introductory session on a new, basically a new concept. I would not say a very new concept, but a new thing that we are going to start, which we would be calling as the Virtual Design Center. Okay. And in this Virtual Design Center, we would be starting with the first course that we would be starting in this Virtual Design Center would be on RCC, Residential and Commercial Building. So, good morning and welcome to this introductory session. So, we would straight away begin with our introductory session. First of all, I will just tell you what all things we will discuss in this introductory session. Okay, so it will be around 30-35 minutes that I will brief you all about this concept. And after that, you can ask your queries, whatever queries you may have related to this course, you may ask afterwards. So first, you just listen to whatever we have to say for first 35-40 minutes, and then you can ask whatever your queries are. Okay. So our agenda for today, are you able to see the presentation also? Are you able to see the presentation? Okay, yes, very good. So the basic agenda for us would be that first we will discuss why we thought was the need for conducting such a course. Then we will tell something about our firm. Then about us. Then I will briefly tell you how the course will flow, your general instructions, how to proceed ahead, and then in the end queries. So this is how we would be proceeding today. So first of all, let us start with the agenda. Okay. Yes. So if you see first, let me first tell you what is the concept behind this. So as young engineers and even fresh graduates and even those people who are, let's say, working for some time, uh, fresh, I mean, just they who have just started working, let's say 6 months, 1 year, or who are fresh graduate, postgraduates. So they have this common problem that they face, that they know the theory. Let's say the theory is now known to them after 41 subjects or 39 subjects in engineering, and let's say around 10-12 subjects in post graduation, also few subjects in research. Let's say someone is doing research or PhD, so he or she they have studied subjects in their PhD also. So even after gaining lot of theory, sometimes we find or we feel that we still do not know the actual skill or the necessary skill that is required to take up an actual project. All right, theory is with us. We know the basics, we know the theory, we know things about design, we know things about earthquake, or we know things about detailing, but we do not know about the application part. Okay, so application of the knowledge, whatever you have, that sometimes you feel that application part is missing. All right, many issues like conceptual planning, like understanding of structural framing system, understanding issues related to detailing, understanding issues related to preparation of drawings, bill of quantities. All these issues are also sometimes uh, not very. I mean, the students are not very not very well conversant with these issues. issues like understanding structural detailing, conceptual planning, drawing preparation, BOQ, because these things generally tend to be ignored in the theory. Okay, so see there, I mean there are 2 points. One is that you know some basic theory, but application part is poor. The second point is that some issues are not covered in theory itself, which are sometimes important with the perspective of a project. Okay, then you lack the experience of working in a real environment of a design office. There are many day-to-day issues that you face when you take up an actual project. Let's say the client requirement is constantly changing. You have to design and redesign and re-redesign according to the changing client needs. There can be some site issues or site difficulties which you face, which may basically change your working, or they may change your design. So there are also lots of real-time issues or real-world problems that a design engineer or a structural engineer may face when they are working in the office, okay, an actual office environment. So that exposure is also missing when we are just out of education, or when we are just graduated and we are fresh into the industry. That exposure is also somehow missing. Then see, these things you cannot read and study. Why you cannot read and study? Because there are some things which you will only learn after self realization, isn't it? For example, you cannot learn driving a car by just looking or by just reading the manual. All right, so if you want to learn a car, you have to drive the car. So similarly, you may read theory, you may read lot of manuals, lot of books, but then some things you will only learn when you do it yourself, hands on, isn't it? So the hands on experience is missing with us because we are only reading in the books. Hands on experience is missing. Understood? So these are some basic issues that we observe. And why we observe? Because even we face the same problem even after graduating, even after post graduating from IIT Roorkee and graduating from a good engineering college in Indore. We faced the same difficulty, or we faced the same problem. All right. So uh, and when did we learn these things? When did we learn these concepts? So when we actually worked in a design office, that was the time when we actually learned all these issues. So the theory, the knowledge of theory, we had proper theory knowledge, but application part was missing, which we were able to learn only during our experience, or only during our time in the design office. All right. So looking at this problem and looking at this issue that is generally faced by, which was faced not only by us, but which is faced by almost every one of us. So we thought to fill in this gap by creating a framework which actually tackles to this problem. And that's how we came up with this concept. Okay. So what is the concept behind virtual design office? That we will try to have learning in a way which enables you to understand how work is performed in the actual design office, and how a project is to be taken up, or how a project is taken up in an actual office environment. Okay, what are the steps that are involved in an actual environment, in an actual office, how the project proceeds ahead. All those issues we will try to take up during this course. So this is the basic concept and the basic need why we thought we should have such a course. Okay. So to begin with, we are starting uh, with a RCC course. That means under Virtual Design Center, we would be covering RCC course this time. Why RCC? Because RCC is the basic. I mean, every structural designer, they let's say they start with RCC. Structural steel, not every one of you may be doing. In general design offices, RCC design is the most common thing that is taken up. So therefore, we are starting with the very basic. And in this course, we will be covering RCC design under Virtual Design Center. So we are taking, basically, we are going to, or we have planned that we would be taking two projects. One would be a residential project and one would be a commercial project. Why these two projects? Because these are the commonly seen building systems, isn't it? I mean, If you are working as a RCC designer or as a design engineer, the most common structure that you will come across would be a residential building and a commercial building. By residential building, I mean not the multi-story residential. By residential, I mean a standalone residential house. Okay. So these are generally the structures that you come across, and therefore we are planning to start with this so that you have a basic understanding and a basic level you reach. Once you do these two projects, then I believe you would have a basic level of understanding. Okay. So this is how we felt was the need, and this is how we came up with this idea. All right. So I will talk more about this a little while later on. Before that, let me just introduce ourselves. First, I introduced why we felt that it was need to start this course. Then let me introduce ourselves. So we are into structural design, and we have our firm by the name of Photoplay Consultants, and it was established uh, in 1995, not by me. I don't know. I'm not that old. So it was established in the year 1995. We are mainly into industrial design, commercial, residential design, other fields like warehousing, logistics. These days we are doing a lot, repair, retrofitting, forensic engineering, project man. So almost all facets of structural engineering we basically cover under our consultancy. Then in the year 2015, I with my wife Akanksha, we thought of uh, diversifying into this training, because the difficulty that we faced in learning all these issues, we felt that we should make this process easy for the next generation of upcoming engineers. So we thought that we should come up with this uh, training programs. So we started in 2015. We have been involved in training since 2015 with my wife. Mainly, we were into offline trainings, and it was limited to our hometown, that is Indore. So we were conducting offline trainings only in Indore. So we started with a RCC design course, and then we also later on started a steel design course. In the meanwhile, we also conducted many seminars and workshops and such things in colleges and all those things in and around Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra. So that's how we have been doing since 2015. Then, yes, these are some of the projects that we have undertaken. Just some of the projects that we have undertaken as in our consultancy basically. So you can see cement plant, you can see a residential bungalow, you can see an infrastructural bridge project. Then you can see a warehousing project at top left. So we are into we are into lots of different types of structural designs. We are not restricted to any particular structural design. We are into several types of structural design ourselves also. So those were the projects undertaken as our consultancy firm. Then these are some of the pictures that we have put here, which are part of our training programs that we have conducted in the past. So top row photos, those were the offline sessions that we used to conduct. Then below are some photos that cover the training programs that we had in our and that we had in educational institutes. Then there are some pictures of some sessions that we have conducted in colleges and other institutes. Then these are some pictures of some technical lectures that we have given in the past at various technical forums. So just a few pictures. Then in the since July, when this whole pandemic issue evolved, so we had to move to online because offline sessions had to be closed down. So we had to move to online trainings, and these online trainings actually proved as a boon for us because we were able to reach larger number of students. Geographical limitation was no longer applicable, so we were able to reach a larger audience. all across India, I would say. And so this is how we started. So we have conducted till now 6 online courses on various topics. So if you see, we have conducted courses on. So basically, the idea was that we try to conduct small, short-term courses, which span for around 25 or 30 sessions, where we try to cover a particular aspect. For example, we started with a flat slab course where we covered the design and detailing aspects of a flat slab. Then we had a course which covered plate girder and application to PEB systems. Then we had a building design course, mainly focusing on horizontal systems using ETABS. Then we again rerun our course on flat slab because flat slab was appreciated by many people. So we had a rerun of our course on flat slab. Then currently we are having a course on structural steel building design, and we just completed a morning course on design of RCC structures for earthquake loads. So basically, we have tried to have courses on RCC, steel, both in the past. We try to cover softwares. We have tried to cover CSI Safe, STAD, ETABS in the past. Okay, so this is how we have been doing since July, and we have got good appreciation from the students. We have had good appreciation from the students. Participants have been across the country. There have been some participants from the Middle Eastern countries also. Our participants have been a mix of faculty, engineering professionals, graduate and postgraduate students. So it has been a good experience for us, and I hope for the participants also in the past who have attended our courses. So it has been a good time. So in continuation to this, we are now starting with this virtual design center. Why? Because our short-term courses are theory intensive, basically, where we try to cover one topic in great details, and it is more on the theory part. So what we try to do in our short-term courses, that we try to cover issues manually, manual hand calculations. We try to match it with the software results, and then we try to look up at design aspects in the software. So our short-term courses generally are a mix of manual methods plus software techniques. So because as a engineer, as a practicing engineer, you should be conversant with manual calculations also, and with software approach also. Both are necessary. You cannot be using a software just as a black box. So to develop confidence to understand issues, you should be able to do it manually as well as on software. So this is how we do in our short-term courses, where we go deep into the theory, we go deep into the software part, where we try to correlate all these results. So this is how is the process that we adopt in our short-term courses. In our virtual design course that we are starting from today, the approach would be slightly different from the approach that we have in our short-term courses. I will come to the difference in approach that we would be having. Before that, I would, yeah, these are just some images that we have from our online courses. So you see there is a board. So yes, this is the same board that you can see over here. So some issues we cover on the board uh, by by just writing it down. Some issues we cover on the software by sharing our screen. In the past, we have always received very positive feedbacks from our participants. You can look at these feedbacks on our website also. So these are just some of the really wonderful feedback that we had received, which I have put over here. Uh, Before we move ahead, something about us. So on the right side, you can see me. So I have done my graduation from GSITS Indore, and then my post graduation from IIT Roorkee, and then I worked in Dar Al Handasa Consultants Pune for around 2.5 years. So that is where I learned most of the issues. As I was telling you, even after post graduation from IIT Roorkee, I didn't know much about the practical aspects of design. Theory part I was good at, but I did not know the practical issues related with the design or the practical issues involved in taking up an actual project. So and I had gone to IIT Roorkee for MTech with this belief that I would be good at design when I come out from post graduation, but I could not learn the application part because that's how the learning programs are planned in India, isn't it? We are focusing more on the theory, less on the application. So even after doing post graduation from Roorkee, somehow felt that I was not very good still in the application part. So the real application I learned when I worked for around 2.5 years at this design office in Pune, Dar Consultants. So after working for 2.5 years in 2014, I came back to Indore, and since then we have been involved in our consultancy, and then from 2015 we have been involved in consultancy as well as training. Okay. Then on the left side you can see Akanksha. She is my wife, and she also has done her engineering from Kota, Engineering College Kota. Then she has done her MTech from IIT Roorkee, so that's where we met actually. She also has a good experience of working in multinational consultancy firms like Acom in the past and Dar Consultants at Pune. She also moved back to Indore with me from Pune, and then she has been involved in consultancy, just like me, consultancy as well as these trainings. So in this course also, she would be providing us support during the trainings. She would be solving your doubts, queries, and other issues. Uh, so we both would be involved in taking your course basically. So I will just like to invite her for just a short, for just introducing herself to you. Yes, so Akanksha.
Hello, hi, good morning. Am I audible? Hi, good morning. I am Akanksha. Ashutosh has already introduced me. As he has told all about the course, this course will be a great learning for all of you. This will be our first virtual design center. As he has told, we have already taken these past 6 short-term courses. So this is a new concept, virtual design center. So I want all of you to join. And I want to assure you that we will try to resolve all your doubts. You can ask to Ashutosh, you can ask to me. You can, after the class also, you can ask by sending your queries on WhatsApp, by calling us, and even after the course, anytime, anywhere, if you find any difficulty, you can always contact us. We both will try to resolve all your doubts. So I hope to see you, all of you, in this course. All the best.
Okay, so thank you. Right, so that was about us. Now, yes, coming to the main point that how this virtual design concept will work. Okay, so as I told you, this would be an application based course where we would be focusing more on the hands on aspects. We would be looking at the issues of design, drawing preparation, BOQ preparation for two structural projects that we will take up. Okay, one structural project will be a residential project, residential house, personal house project, and the second project would be a commercial building around G+4 or G+5. This course will be less on theory. Personally, I don't like to go on light on theory because, as I told you, our short-term courses are very theory intensive because I believe that for a designing or for a structural engineer, the structural engineer should be good at theory because that's when or that's how you would be able to apply your theoretical concepts to actual design, isn't it? So our general courses are very intense on theory, but here the concept, as I told you, is slightly different. we are focusing more on the practical application part, because application is also important, theory is also important. In our short-term courses, we emphasize on theory. In these virtual design center courses, we will be emphasizing more on the application part. Okay, so this is the different concept that we have, or this is the different approach that we would be adopting for these courses. Now, for each project, for each residential or commercial project that we take up, the sequence that we will be following would be that we will start by first we will start by understanding the client requirement. So how do we understand the client requirement? By looking at the architectural planning. Let's say if it is a commercial or residential structure, we start by understanding the requirement through architectural drawings. If it is an industrial structure, let's say, you will start by understanding the mechanical requirements of the project. So first you have to understand the requirements, and this is how, see, this is the sequence that we generally follow in any design office also. So we start by understanding the requirements, then we will move to finalizing the structural system, which is very important. By finalizing the structural system, I mean that we would be finalizing the positions of beams, columns, etc., where you need to have openings, where you need to provide beams, where you need to have cantilevers. All these things we will be trying to finalize by looking at the requirements and by looking at the aesthetic issues and issues of uh, good structural proportioning, basically. Okay, so we would be finalizing the structural system. Then that structural system we will model in ETABS. Once we model that structural system in ETABS, then we will move to load application. Whatever load we need to apply as per the relevant Indian standards, that we will apply. Then we will analyze our structure on ETABS. Once our structure has been analyzed, then we will be designing our structure on ETABS. By designing, I mean that we will be checking for the size, whether it is okay or not. As per our decided structural system, we will be checking the sizes. And after checking the sizes, after checking the adequacy of sizes, we will be basically finding out the reinforcement requirement. So that is what I mean by design. Okay. So design of superstructure we would be doing on ETABS, and design of substructure, that is foundation, we would be doing on SAFE. So foundation, right now we would only be discussing your normal isolated footings to save time. We would be discussing only isolated footings in this course currently. So we would be, as I told you, design of footings as per SAFE, design of substructure as per uh, what? As per ETABS. Superstructure, sorry, design of superstructure as per ETABS, substructure as per SAFE. Then once design is over means we have finalized the sizes, we have finalized the reinforcement. Then we will move to drawing preparation. We will try to prepare a complete AutoCAD drawing on AutoCAD, using AutoCAD. Once drawings are complete, then we will go to BOQ preparation, bill of quantities, because as you know, nowadays the design engineer or the structural engineer is also expected to give the bill of quantities with the project. All right. In the earlier times, BOQ preparation was generally done by some other agencies or by contractor or someone else. But these days, what the trend is that the design engineer themselves are expected to give the bill of quantities also. Okay. So that on the basis of that bill of quantities, the executing agency can be finalized, or tendering can be done basically. So BOQ is also important these days. So we will try to prepare a complete BOQ, civil work BOQ, of course. So we will try to we will try to prepare a civil BOQ for the project. Okay, so basically we will start from requirement right till the BOQ. So this is how we would be doing for our project, and for each project we will follow the same process. Okay. Then yes, as I told you, as I have been repeatedly telling you that this will be less on theory. So when I say less on theory, what I mean that I will not be covering the basics of, let's say, IS 456, or I will not be covering the basics of beam design or column design or footing design. we would be telling you in a way that how things are done on the software. Okay, we would not be matching, or we would not be, let's say, manually calculating the results and cross checking it with the software. Those issues we will not be doing. Why will we will not be doing? Because if you go to design office, any design office, for example, if you join a job there, so nobody in the office will is going to tell you how it is, how the software is working internally, or how you can correlate the results by manual cross checking, isn't it? If you join a job, let's say somewhere, what you are expected, so you are expected to design on a software, you are expected to know things about drawing preparation, and you are expected to know about BOQ preparation. So people there would not be interested whether you know how to manually cross check or you know in-depth theory or not. So since we are also focusing right now in these courses more on the applications, so we would be going a little bit less on the theory part. We would not be matching results using manual calculations, or we will not go in deep into the understanding of working of the software. So for these issues, we have our short-term courses which we run. Okay. In, in the virtual design center courses, we will be focusing more on getting things done as they are done in the office, or as they are done by an actual engineer. Okay. So when you, for example, when you join a job somewhere, even when we joined job somewhere, we from the day one did not had the complete knowledge of theory. Okay, we had some basic understanding of theory, but we did not have the complete in-depth knowledge of software, or we did not have the complete in-depth knowledge of manual calculations, or how things are getting done on software. In-depth knowledge we also didn't have. We got that knowledge only after working for few years and spending some time with different projects. That's how we, and of course by self studies, that's how we came to learn about these issues that are involved. So as a fresh graduate or as a fresh engineer, even if you learn these issues a little later on, it will not be a problem for you. At the right at the For the time being, we will be trying to cover, or we will try to understand how these issues are covered, or how these issues are done in an office environment. So that's what our aim and objective is, that you should be able to take up a project from very start, from the very conceptual planning level, and take it right up to the BOQ preparation. Okay. Even if you understand less, or even if you have less in-depth knowledge, still it would be okay for you. Currently, in the present context, it would be okay for you even if you have a little bit less theoretical knowledge and complete in-depth understanding, but you are able to do a complete project on your own. So our intention would be that you should be able to do a complete project on your own and follow all the steps that I have just discussed. So what we expect, as I told you, that since this would be more of a application or hands-on approach, so what we expect, that you should have some basic understanding of design and some basic understanding of RCC detailing with you. By basic understanding, I mean that you should understand what is the bending moment, what is the shear force, how is the reinforcement, what is the meaning of longitudinal reinforcement, what is meant by stirrups, what are the different, what is M25, what is M30, all these basic uh, RCC concepts, we expect that they should be known to you, because we won't be spending a lot of time on that. So we expect that should be known to the participant. This course, when we cover, this would be a blend of board and screen teaching. So there would be some things that we would cover on board. There would be some things that we would be covering on our software. Uh, we will have separate times allotted for your doubts, and we may have some dedicated sessions for doubt solving only. We would be providing recorded videos after each session to the participants. These videos typically would be limited validity. That means they would be available during the duration of the course. Maybe each day's video will be available for you, let's say, for about 6-7 days session has been after the session has been taken. That means, let's say if I have a session today, this session's video would be available for next 6-7 days for you to watch. So even if you are behind, or even if you are lagging by 1 or 2 days, you can cover up during the weekend by watching the recorded videos. What do we expect? What outcome do we expect at the end of this course? So we expect that the participant should understand the complete procedure of structural design. The participant should be able to take up these steps on their own. That means design, uh, making a structural system in a software, applying loads on software, analyzing the structure on software, then taking up the design results from software, and then making drawings according to it, and then preparing bill of quantities on basis of those drawings. So we expect that the participant should be well conversant with these issues after the completion of course. This is what we are expecting, and this is how we would be, or we will ensure that the participant understands these things by the end of the course. Okay, and they are, see, understanding is different thing. Our emphasis will be that the participant is able to do these things on their own. Understanding is one thing, looking at the session or looking at the lectures is one thing, but important thing, or the thing, or sorry, the real effectiveness you will have only when you do it by yourself. So doing by yourself will be very important in this course, that you will have to do things on yourself, by yourself. Okay, only then you will be able to extract the maximum benefit out of the course. These are some general guidelines. Now, see, it has been 8 months. You may have, I mean, most of you may have attended lots of online sessions on all those things. So these guidelines are not very relevant for you now, but still, I would just go through them. So mainly the sessions we would be conducting on Zoom. Uh, you can join through your mobile or laptop, whichever way you feel comfortable. But when on the days we are doing it on software, then what you can do is that you can have your laptops, and I mean you watch your session on mobile, but simultaneously do the things on laptop. That can also be done. You should keep a copy of IS 456 and SP34 ready with you, because we would be using these things for our discussion. IS 456 is your RCC design code, and SP34 is your detailing code. So these things we would be referring to. Therefore, have a copy ready with you, hard copy or soft copy. Hard copy is more preferred. You may have to do calculations, some calculations on your own also. And I would suggest that you take notes at your own end, because we generally do not provide printed notes as such. Because even if we provide printed notes, it will not be of any importance, or it will not be of any help to you if you are not doing it yourself. Okay. So what we believe, that the participant should take notes on their own. If you take notes on your own, that will be the most effective way of learning for you. That's what we believe. Then yes, have a place which is a quiet corner with having proper internet connectivity. So proper internet connectivity you should ensure, because many a time students face this difficulty that they are not able to log in, or they are automatically logged out of the session. So ensure proper internet connectivity. Even if you are logged out, or even if you miss some session, let's say due to improper internet connectivity or some other issues, other unforeseen issues, you can always watch the recorded video later on. So that is the facility that we have uh, for your ease of understanding. Okay. Okay, so then how to proceed ahead? So after today's introductory session, we would be sharing a response form where you can mention, or where you can say, or where you can indicate whether you want to join or not. We would be starting our course from from Monday, 21st December, 8:30 a.m. is the time that we would be having. If you want to join the course, then you can pay the course fee in advance. We have kept a very nominal course fee. The course fee that we have kept is 3,000 rupees. This you can give via, account transfer, or you can do it by Google Pay or UPI, whatever you feel comfortable doing, you can do it. You may pay by 20th of December, Sunday, till 10 p.m. if you want to join. And from Monday, 21st of December, we would be starting our course. The course duration that we have planned would be minimum 40 sessions. When I say 40 sessions, those are not 40 days, those are 40 working sessions. So, for example, we generally we do not conduct sessions on weekends. So number of days would be greater than 40. 40 are the working sessions that we have planned. Okay. So 40 session course, and we would be starting from 8:30 a.m. 21st of December. Many of the students had this query that they have their offices, or they have some other activities, or many of you have some college classes during this time. So even if you are not able to attend the course live, by live I mean if you are not able to attend it at 8:30, you can always attend it afterwards by watching the recorded session, and by coming to us, or by asking queries later on. Okay. And we will solve whatever queries you have. You can write for your queries via email, or on WhatsApp, or on a phone call, whichever way you feel comfortable. You can ask your queries that way. Uh, For the softwares, as I told you, we would be covering ETABS, SAFE, ETABS for superstructure design and detailing, SAFE for substructure design and detailing. We would be covering AutoCAD for drawing preparation, and Excel for BOQ preparation. So I think AutoCAD and Excel you may be having with you. If you do not have ETABS and SAFE, we would be providing you a downloadable link from where you can download the educational version of these softwares. So we would be providing you link of that, and you can use that link to download those softwares. So that is one issue that I wanted to tell you. Okay. Then uh, other queries generally that students have, I okay. So I think I will stop over here. This was the general discussion that I wanted to have with you. Now what we will do, that one by one, you can just type in your queries, whatever queries you may have. You may have queries related to the course, you may have queries related to the flow of the course, or you may have some general queries. Whatever queries you may have, that you may now ask. Okay. So there already we have some queries in front of us. Yes, so the general query is that what would be the two projects that we would be covering. So we would be covering one residential project. When I say residential, we would be having a general residential project. That means not a, multi-story residential. Let's say a residential bungalow. Okay, so bungalow would be typically G+1, or at the maximum G+2. Why we are taking up a bungalow? There is a specific reason for that, because in bungalows sometimes the issues involved are a little bit different from your multi-story buildings. So there are some different issues which you have to look into a bungalow. And why we are taking up a case of residential bungalow? Because let's say if you are doing some RCC, or if you are starting your career as a RCC structural engineer, even if you are doing some projects on your own, residential bungalow is one thing which is the most commonly, uh, I mean, it is the thing that you come across most commonly, isn't it? I mean, if you are starting your career as a structural designer, you have these chances that you will start by designing a residential bungalow for someone. So therefore, we have taken up this residential bungalow. Why we are taking up a commercial building? So generally, commercial multi-story buildings have some of their own issues. So we need to look into those issues also. There are some planning issues or there are some architectural issues. So we are going to take up a commercial building also. Okay. Uh, and around G plus 4 is a good size to start with. Because see, after a certain height, people start looking for some experienced design engineers or experienced structural engineers. But let's say up to G plus 4, G plus 5, even normal structural engineers are able to do it by some basic understanding. So we would be taking up these two projects. One would be residential project, and the second would be a commercial project. So this is one answer that I wanted to give you. Uh, right, there are many questions. Let me take them one by one. So when the sessions will be starting? So as I told you, today was our introductory session. Then you would have 3 days to make your mind whether you want to join the course or not. So we would be starting our course from Monday, that is 21st of December, 8:30 a.m. in the morning. Then Mr. Weber is asking, will non-structural aspects such as painting, flooring, etc. be covered in BOQ? So yes, when we are going to prepare BOQ, we would be trying to cover the aspects that are not covered in design. For example, non-structural aspects like painting, brickwork, flooring, plinth protection, damp roof course, plaster, all these issues we will try to cover, because then only you would be able to make a complete BOQ, or you will be able to make a complete civil BOQ, isn't it? So we would be covering those issues. Then there is a common question that whether earthquake aspects will be covered in the projects or not. So see, earthquake in itself is a very detailed or a vast topic. For example, we just conducted a course where we had 25 sessions dedicated to earthquake design and detailing. Okay. So earthquake design and detailing is a vast topic in itself. So covering earthquake design in totality will be very difficult. And personally, I believe that it is not required as a fresh structural engineer for you also. So what we would be doing, we would be applying earthquake loads in the software, but we will not be having very intense discussions on earthquake. All right, we would be applying our earthquake load. We would be doing earthquake analysis as per your normal equivalent static method, but we will not be having a very detailed and intense discussion. Rather, we would be telling you more about the detailing part of earthquake design. Okay, so we would be trying to tell you that, let's say you have applied earthquake loads, now how or in what way you should provide your reinforcement so that you can provide a considerable level of ductility. That's what we would be trying at. So instead of going very deep into discussion regarding earthquake, we would be applying earthquake forces in our software in a simple way without going too much into discussion. And then we will try to understand that in the detailing part, how you can ensure that your structure attains a certain level of ductility by detailing. So that's what we are trying to do. Then Ms. Lima is asking why ETABS and not StatPro. Why ETABS? Because ETABS, I personally believe that it is a convenient software to use. It makes our life pretty simple. And when you are going to do footing design, so footing design on safe, when we are going to discuss. So generally what happens is that ETABS and safe are compatible because they are prepared or they are made by the same company, CSI software. So ETABS and safe are mutually compatible to each other. And because nowadays, if you look in the international context, people are using ETABS for designs these days. In the Indian context also, people have started moving to ETABS. due to the ease that ETABS offers to you and the various options that ETABS offers to you in comparison to STAT. So therefore, to make our life simple, we would be covering ETABS. Then okay. So earthquake load, there were two common. Yes, as I told you, residential project will be a bungalow project, as I discussed. Mr. Kamal Nath is asking, will you project more real-time projects for practice and knowledge sharing at the end of the course? I did not really understand the question. Will you give projects? Okay, so if you want that I should share some drawings for your further practice, I would share some drawings with you. I mean, I would share some project drawings with you, which you can take up and you can try to do the complete project on your own. I would share some architectural drawings with you afterwards. Mr. Dheeraj is asking, slab designing will be covered in ETABS or SAFE. So we will do it in ETABS itself, because these days ETABS is giving you this facility of slab design also. So we will cover it in ETABS itself. Mr. Aman is asking, do we or will we design combined footings in SAFE? So whatever would be the structural configuration, if at all there is a need for combined footing, we will discuss about combined footings. When I say discuss, we will, as I repeatedly, as I've been telling you, we will not go very deep into the theory. We will see how these things can be done on the software. So we will do that. Eccentric footing, same question, same answer, that if it is coming in your structural configuration, we will take up the issue and we will do it in the software itself. Mr. Mohammed is asking, does ETAS student version limit some of the important features of analysis? No, the student version does not limit anything. You can use whatever features you have, but only point is that you should not be doing it for commercial purpose basically. Okay, other than that, you can use your student version also. Mr. Deep is asking, is it possible to have sessions at in the evening? So in the evening, actually, we are having a course right now. As you are attending that course, steel design, and once the steel design finishes, we are planning to have a different course uh, starting in the evening. So currently, the time that we would be having for this course would be the morning time. Why morning time? Because our target audience or the people that we expect would be attending the course are mostly students who are, let's say, who are not into job themselves or who have just started doing some job somewhere. So I believe they have time available with them in the morning. Okay. So therefore, this will be in morning. Then there is a question, in commercial project, the slab system will be flat slab or solid slab. We will be taking up a solid slab, normal suspended slab system, because flat slab itself will need lot of understandings of other issues. Mr. Anuj is asking, circular staircase. Okay, so staircase we will try to cover a normal dog-legged staircase. Why dog-legged normal staircase? Because circular staircase, again other issues will be involved. So let's have a normal staircase itself. Mr. Sanket is asking, please tell which version of ETABS would be suitable. So we would be sharing one downloadable link. I think that downloadable link is for ETABS version 18.1.1, I believe. So that ETABS 18.1.1 would be good enough for you, because it also includes these days the slab design in the software. In the earlier versions of ETABS, your slab design was not available, but these days your ETABS version 18 has included the slab design module also. So we would be using ETABS version 18. Mr. Dheeraj is saying he has ETABS 17, but that does not have the detailing option. Yeah, detailing option is not there even in ETABS 18 these days, because now the CSI has come up with a new software which is called as the CSI Detailer. So they have moved all the detailing capabilities to this new software. So detailing aspect we will try to cover on our own. Okay. Not by looking at the software, we will try to cover the detailing aspects by ourselves. Then Mr. Dell is asking, uh, huh? Using crack version won't be much of an issue, right? Yeah, it won't be an issue. Okay, then Dell is asking during the course there will be assignments also. So I will try to tell, in this course, what we expect from you is that you should also spend some time at your own end practicing these issues. All right, because there would be effort required from your end also. Only then you would be able to maximize the gains out of this course. For example, if we let's say discuss making drawing of a beam in our session. So let's say we discuss drawing preparation for 2 or 3 beams. Okay. Then what do we expect that you should do all these things for other beams by yourself, because we also have the limitation of time and we want that we should be able to cover maximum topics or maximum concepts for your benefit. So if we cover some issue, let's say we cover beam drawing or column drawing in one class, then we expect that for other columns you would spend some time and try to do it by yourself. So we will expect this thing that you also spend some amount of time at your own end during this course. Okay, because this is going to be a hands-on or application based course. So you will only maximize the gains when you also when you also learn by doing it yourself. Okay, and the best way of learning would be when you learn by self-realization or when you learn by doing yourself. So you should spend some time at your own end. Mr. Karthik is asking, yes, certificates we would be giving. Exam as such, we have not thought of conducting exams right now. So I'm not sure that we would be conducting exam after the course or not. You can have a self-assessment that what you have understood. You can have a self-assessment for yourself. Both ETABs and SAFE will be taught during the course from scratch. Mr. Karthik is asking. So from scratch, I mean, I will introduce the software to you. I will tell how things are done in the software, but I will not go into very in-depth discussion on the working of the software, or I will not go very deep into the actual calculations performed by the software. We will not do it in this course because this is more of application part. But we would start from scratch. I mean, when we start ETABS, we will assume that no one of you has ever used ETABS. So we will start by giving a basic demonstration, and we will tell you how things how you can get things done in these softwares. Okay. Mr. Sanket, no, Mr. Weber is asking detailing will be done manually or using CSI detailer. So we will do the detailing manually as per the standard norms that we follow for our project. Even if you go to any office, there are some standard norms that we follow for detailing. So we will do detailing ourselves manually by taking the results from ETABS or SAFE and by doing the detailing part on our own. Mr. Sanket is saying, please share the links of both the software so that we can have installed before Monday. Yes, so what I would be doing, I would be asking you for your email IDs on the group. You can enter your email IDs in that Google sheet that I would be sharing you. And then on those email IDs, I will send you the download link for SAFE and ETABS both, along with instructions for download. Okay, that I would do today. Yes, any other question that we may have? Mr. Weber is asking, will the concept of sunk slabs will be covered? Yes, generally washrooms have sunk slabs, and this is a practical problem that a structural designer faces because almost all your washrooms have this sunk slab or your landscaping areas have this sunk slab. So we would be covering issues related to sunk slab. Yes, Mr. Vasant is asking whether openings in slab will be included. So see, openings, since we are restricting our discussion to normal suspended slabs, beam column slabs, openings in normal suspended slabs are not a very big issue as such, because you can always have beams around your openings. So openings are a bigger problem in your flat slab systems, but we would be discussing about openings as such. What do you need to do in detailing near the openings, that we will try to discuss. Okay. Yes, Mr. Mustafa is asking, all footings will be isolated. No, so we will take up a case of eccentric footing also. Why we will take up a case of eccentric footings? Because if you go to residential constructions generally, you see that in residential constructions there are a lot of eccentric footings. Why? Because there is a restriction of, I mean, you do not leave MOS in residential construction. Side MOS, let's say you are not leaving. So in residential construction, you come across this issue that uh, you have eccentric footings in your design. So we would take up the issue of eccentric footings also. Safe will take up this issue. We will be doing it on software, not manually. So uh, we would take up this issue. Mr. Dheeraj is asking, is it necessary to install 18 version or is it okay with 17? I think ETAP 17 does not give you about slab detailing. If I remember it correctly, ETAP 17 does not design the slab elements itself. So if it is not designing the slab elements, then you should install ETAP 18. Otherwise, it is okay if you use ETAP 17. No, but install ETAP 18, because then there are some other issues that people face using ETAP 17. So install ETAP 18. Mr. Vaibhav is suggesting that kindly include some cantilevered projections like balcony in the model. Yes, that is a good suggestion. We will try to have a architectural plan which includes these cantilevered projections also. Yes, Mr. Sombil is saying, will it be sufficient for us without site visit or offline classes is not available? Will it be sufficient for us without site visit? Okay, you are saying that will it be good enough for you if you are not visiting site or having offline classes? Yeah, so I think most of the issues I think you will try to, or you would be in a position to understand if you pay attention to whatever we are discussing. See, because I believe that as civil engineers, you are graduates and postgraduates. So I believe that you have been to site in the past, isn't it? You understand basic working of a site, or how your reinforcement looks like on a site, how the reinforcement is tied on a site. I believe that things you know. So those things are already with you. So even if you do not, I mean, since we won't be taking you to site, it will not be possible for us. So I believe you can try to visit yourself, let's say, and as we are discussing the issues in our session, you can just try to go on a site and try to correlate uh, these learnings with the actual things happening on site. Yes, Miss Lima is asking, will you cover floating column aspect? Let me see if we cover. I cannot guarantee, but let me see. We may have a plan which has floating column also. But then see, floating column, that will mean there would be some different complications that would arise with floating columns. So what I believe is that you should not be, I mean, right now our main objective is to do, or should be, right now our main objective is to complete a project from the start to end. So uh, I mean, we can teach you anything, but the point is that how much of it you are able to grasp it, isn't it? So we will try to cover floating columns, but floating columns in residential buildings you have sometimes, you may not have sometimes. In commercial buildings, you may have this issue of floating columns, but then floating columns have some other complications that you cannot consider floating columns in earthquake designing. So then you have to pay attention to your structural system for lateral loads. So there are some additional complications that you have with floating columns. So I will try to cover this, but even if you do not understand floating column issue right now, still I believe that it will not make much of a difference for you. Okay, at the preliminary level that we are discussing right now, it will not make much of a difference for you. Okay, all right. See, it is not important that what we know or what we are going to tell you. All right, what is important for you is that how much of it you can grasp it and how much of it you can use it practically in your day-to-day projects, isn't it? We can teach you lots of things, but let's say at the end of the day you do not understand those issues, or you are not able to apply those issues for yourself, so those teachings will not be very effective for you then. Anyway, Mr. Sanket is saying, will you include some plumbing insights since it would be required for planning a turnkey project? Okay, so I will, this is a good suggestion. We will try to have some basic discussion regarding the plumbing issues that you need to consider in your project. Mr. Karan is saying he is sorry, but he doesn't know whether. Okay, yes, he is saying whether he does not know whether you discussed or not. Are you going to cover combined and raft footing? So we will sort of discuss about combined footings, not through theoretical calculations, but how your software is going to do it. We will try to cover it, not in depth, but sufficient enough to enable you to design a footing from looking at the software. Okay. Yes, then Mr. Mustafa is saying two mid-landing stairs included or dog-legged. So that will depend again on the architectural plan that we have. Generally, in residential buildings, you will see that there is a dog-legged staircase that you have. In commercial buildings where we have a greater floor height, you may come across two mid-landing staircase. So we will see whatever plan we take up, we will consider that staircase. Okay. Maybe in the commercial plan, we can take up the two mid-landing staircase. In the residential plan, we will take up the dog-legged approach. Yes, then Mr. Dell is asking for the commercial building where there will be lift core. Will we design the shear wall as well as its foundation? So see, shear wall designing is again a little bit complicated issue because you have to understand some basic concepts behind ductile detailing and ductile design of a shear wall. So that is a complicated issue, not complicated, that is a separate issue that you need to understand. So what we will do, we will have a building which has a lift core. We will try to design it also, but we will not then go into the dual system approach, or we will not go into the irregularity approaches that you need to consider. So we will take up a shear wall, let's say. We will try to design it as per the outputs given by the software, but we will not try to go in depth. Okay, because if you go in depth, there are several issues that you need to understand for that. Yes, Mr. Sanket is saying, please try to select an architectural plan with prefabricated staircase. What do you mean by prefabricated staircase? RCC prefabricated or steel prefabricated? Steel prefabricated. Okay, so steel prefabricated these days, your normal fabricator does it, isn't it? The normal roadside fabricator is also able to do your normal steel staircases. If you observe, they provide you the standard design. Let's say you have a steel staircase just for roof to some top of roof. So you see that there is some standard steel staircase that your fabricator provides, and generally you put the same staircase in your uh, project. Anyway, let me see this point. Let me see on this. Okay. Any more question? See, right now, what your approach should be that there will always be hundreds of things that you do not know, isn't it? There will be hundreds of things that you do not know. There will be hundreds of things that you will not know even after the completion of the course. But what your approach should be that you should understand the things that are important for you to take up a project. Understood? So there would be many issues that you would not be understanding even after the course. But after the course, we believe that you would be understanding the basic issues or the important issues that are associated with a structural project. That would be our effort, and that would be our intended outcome. All right. So therefore, what I personally believe, or what I personally, I personally believe this, that going too much into difficult things would make your understanding. I mean, your understanding won't be very clear if you go a lot into difficult aspects. So right now you should try to learn the simple aspects in a very proper way. Once you understand the simple aspects in a proper way, then you can take up the complicated aspects later on. All right. Okay, Mr. Weber is saying RCC water tank will be considered or not. So we will RCC water tank. We will try to have it. For residential, generally people provide a plastic water tank like Syntex tank or something like that. We will try to discuss, but not very in depth. We will just have a basic discussion how you can uh, approach this issue of water tank. Okay, because it in itself is a long discussion. There are lots of issues that are involved. Septic tank, yes, good question. Septic tank. See, septic tank design itself again has to be done as per the requirements given to you in different codes. So I can just tell you about the basic planning or the basic layout of the septic tank, but not about the design calculations of a septic tank. Okay, because then you have to refer certain manuals or NBC for the working or for the design calculations for a septic tank. So I will just give you a simple approach how to tackle this problem of septic tank. All right. Yes. Any more question? Do you have any more question with you? Repeat the question. No. Very good. So if you do not have any further question, oh, there is a big question. Yes, Mr. Vasant is asking a practical difficulty that he has faced, I believe, that he is saying that he was wondering if we could discuss what is to be done whether when we come across a situation where a column in the ground floor is slightly displaced from its normal position, uh, but the above columns are in same position. So I think what you are also talking about the transfer columns or planted column situation, or a situation where your columns are not in vertical line and some columns are shifted to accommodate for some utilities at the lower levels. So maybe not in the project that we take up, but separately I will try to cover this issue, because again, if this will have some this will require some understanding of other issues involved. So I will try to take up not in the actual project, but separately. Okay. Yes, Mr. Mustafa is asking when will the session start. So session would be starting from Monday, that is 21st of December. 21st of December. Column orientation will be discussed. Yeah, we will discuss column orientation. Yes, we will discuss this issue of column orientation. Okay. Okay. Any more question? Okay. So I think the questions are these are the questions. All right. So first of all, thank you everyone for patiently listening and then asking whatever doubts you had. So we believe that we have been able to satisfy your queries. So as I told you, this project we would, I mean, during this course, our main intention would be to understand the complete procedure of a structural design project, right from designing to detailing to BOQ preparation. This complete method should be understood by us, and not only understood, we should be able to do it ourselves, because at the end of the day, that's what we want from a hands-on application based course, that we should be able to do it ourselves. So therefore, to make this happen, what is required or what would be required would be that you should understand, or you should also spend some time yourselves daily after the session, revising these concepts and trying to do things by your own, at your own end. Only then you would be able to have maximum gain out of the course. All right. So that's it then. Uh, we will stop over here, and we expect or we hope that all of you join the course on Monday, and we would be happy to see all of you on Monday at 8:30. And I personally believe that this would be a good course going forward, because this is the difficulty that even we faced after our graduation, post graduation, and after our studies, that we did not understand the actual design process and the actual process to take up a project. So through this course, we would be trying to address this issue, which is the general issue faced by many of the young engineers and practicing engineers. Okay. So thank you, and hoping to see you on Monday. I will be sharing a response form in the group. You may fill the response form, and later on, I will be sharing you the uh, payment details also. So if you choose to join this, you can make the payment. So that would be all. Have a good day. Have a good Thursday. Have a good weekend, and we will see you on Monday, 8:30, 21st of December. All right. All right. Bye bye, everyone. Thank you.